I'm Alex, and my topic is the removal of the Long Beach breakwater. What the Long Beach breakwater is, some quick background, it is a 2.5-mile long barrier that protects the port of Long Beach from swells and stuff. It was built construction started during World War II when the US Navy was putting its fleet on the west coast to protect against Japanese, but it wasn't completed until 1949. But there is not much use for it anymore since the Cold War. All those ships have left to other cities like San Diego. So my claim is that removing the breakwater will benefit the city of Long Beach and neighboring communities. The first premise that it will benefit, that Long Beach will benefit from, is economic benefits. There's a lot of controversy that the cost of removing it will damage the economy, but I think it'll be better because it will cause currents and waves to come back to the beach, because if you notice, Long Beach is actually pretty empty. It used to be a really vibrant beach city that people would flock to, similar to cosmopolitan cities like Miami. But now that doesn't happen. Whenever people think of going to beaches, they think of going to cities like Huntington Beach or Newport Beach instead of Long Beach. So with that removed, tourists will start coming back to Long Beach because there will be waves there, and it'll just be another option for people to go to. Also in Long Beach, there's already there are already some tourist attractions such as the Queen Mary, the Promenade shopping streets. There are lots of conventions that happen there, as well as the IndyCar Grand Prix. So people coming to those events, when they're over or if they want to stay longer, they have another option to go to the beach there instead of having to find a ride to go somewhere else. And with all those tourists there, it will bring in about almost $53 million in tourist revenue. And along with tourists, beach cities normally have a higher median house price. Neighboring cities such as Huntington Beach and Seal Beach have median house prices of $470,000 for Huntington and $445,000 for Seal Beach, as compared to only $440,000 for Long Beach. And this source comes from Surfrider, the Long Beach chapter. Those cities have higher house median prices because they're more popular, and with the removal of the breakwater, Long Beach will become popular again, and therefore house prices will go up and the economy will be better. Also, the removal of the breakwater will have great environmental impacts, because currently, since it blocks a bunch of current, the water in the bay becomes stagnant, and that is very problematic because the LA River and as well as the Santa Ana River, whenever it rains, a bunch of waste gets collected in those rivers, and both of them dump out right into Long Beach Bay. And there's no place for it to circulate to get washed out, so it just becomes a giant puddle of nasty water. Another reason why it has good environmental impact is because there's erosion. It kind of sounds counterproductive that removing something that would block a current would end up decreasing erosion, but since it's there, it actually creates more erosion, as really hypocritical as that is, because at one of the openings on the east end of the bay, it causes a stronger current which erodes the southern peninsula a lot faster than it normally would. So removing the breakwater would dissipate erosion along the rest of the bay, making it more manageable. That is why I think that removing the Long Beach breakwater would be beneficial to the city of Long Beach.
All right, Alex, well, you identify the subject. I think the introduction could be a little bit more interesting, but you give us some good background on it. That's fine. I think you want to use the historical background as your attention device instead of just diving in and telling us what the topic is. You do have a clear statement of your claim, although I think you could probably just use the Long Beach communities instead of Long Beach and the surrounding communities to avoid the multiple terminology in the proposition. The secondary issues need to be laid out more clearly. I know that there are a couple of things that you're talking about. There's an issue of tourism, there's an issue of erosion, there's an issue about the cleanliness of the bay. You need to make sure that those are distinct supporting points that are easy for people to recall at the end of the speech. As it is, it just feels a little bit like you're wandering around on those subjects from topic to topic without a particular plan, and you want to have a plan on this. So I didn't feel like it came across as well organized as it should be. I know that you've got a structure in your outline, but it's not being presented orally, and that's one of the things that you want to do. The only piece of evidence that was cited in the presentation was the statistics on housing prices, and you gave us a source on that. I have no doubt that you've consulted a lot of research, that you've got information from some sources, but none of those sources made it into the oral part of the presentation. Everything sounds like an assertion on your part. You come up with this number, for instance, that we're going to have $53 million more in tourist activity. I'm going, well, where's that come from? How do you know that? I didn't have any information about the number of visitors that they have in comparison to other communities that don't have the breakwater there, limiting them. There seems to be an assumption that most people come to the beach because they want the waves or the current or something that's going on like that, and I don't know how true that is. You say Long Beach is largely not visited, it's abandoned. I'm not a beach guy, so I couldn't tell you whether or not that's true, but I think I need some information that shows me that that's true, and I don't really get any of that information. I think that you probably have done some research here, but it didn't make its way into the presentation, and that is a problem. I did, however, appreciate at the end that you had a clear restatement of what the proposition was, and that made it easy for you to finish a little bit more effectively then. All right, thank you. Let's cheat and get one more in here. Carissa?